Melbourne City have cleared out to a 7-point advantage at the top of the Liberty A-League, but today the arrival of Western United presents them with a shot at history as they chase victory against the green and black for the first time in the competition's history. Good evening and welcome to Amy Park here on Rivalry land in Melbourne as this clash between Melbourne City and Western United gets us underway in round 14 of the Liberty A-League. And you could say City's response from a disappointing end to last season couldn't have gone any better. 7 points clear at the top, the best attack in the league. But this afternoon's clash with Western presents a stern test as they look to clear away the demons of last season's drop-off where they went out in the first week of the finals. And what a tonic it would be if Melbourne City could get their first win over last season's grand finalists. There's 2 changes for Dario Vidosic's Melbourne City, both of them forced with Amina Ekic suspended from that red card against Wellington on the weekend. Julia Grosso picking up an injury at training yesterday, so she's also out. That means Naomi Chinamar comes into the side for her 6th start of the campaign in the back line. Briley Henry also returns for her 2nd start of the season further up the pitch. City have been careful not to overload her after her return from an MCL injury. Despite victory last week against Adelaide, there's 3 changes for Kat Smith's side, with the big news being the return of Hannah Keane up front after hamstring awareness has reduced her to a bench role in the last 2 matches. Natasha Dakic makes her first start of the season, while former City player Julia Sardo also returns. That means Papadopoulos and Robers drop to the bench, and Tyler J. Vlanic is out of the matchday squad altogether with a minor adductor strain. Daniela Garlich will need to carry more of the creative load tonight. Leading goal scorer Amina Ekic out of the side with suspension. Hasn't she been outstanding this season with 4 assists, only 1 behind league leader Holly Caspers. And the huge news for Western United is that last season's Golden Boot, their leading goal scorer in this competition, she's come off the bench in the last 2, managing that hamstring injury. And she'll be keen to break her biggest goal-scoring drought in A-League women's history, which currently sits at 5 matches. And she might be well placed to do it tonight against a side she's scored against in her last 2 matches. Dario Vidosic, hasn't he had an impressive start to life as a coach after taking over from his father Rado at the beginning of last season? 29th match in charge this evening. So far, 15 wins from 28, a winning percentage of a very impressive 54. Rebecca Ducot will become the 2nd match official to referee 100 A-League women's matches after Kate Jakowicz did so on New Year's Eve. She made her debut in October 2009 in the round 4 match between Sydney FC and Brisbane Roar. And Kat Smith has had a great run since taking over from Mark Torcaso at the beginning of December. Western sat in 8th spot when she took the reins, and today they could rise to 2nd with victory against Melbourne City. Naomi Chinamar is very keen to lock in a spot in the starting side. She's been displaced in recent weeks, and opportunity knocks with the injury to Julia Grosso. And there's one player who's coming up against her old side, the only player in this match, Julia Sardo, who played a couple of matches for City during the 2020-2021 season. So we're ready to go here at Amy Park. Round 14 about to get underway in the longest season in Liberty A-League history. And Melbourne City chasing their first win against Western United in this competition as last season's grand finalists aim to rise up to 2nd on the table. So many storylines at play here this evening at Amy Park, part of a doubleheader. Melbourne City and Adelaide United in the men's straight after this all-Victorian affair between City and Western United. on the eve of the public holiday tomorrow, so there should be a good throng of fans that make their way into Amy Park tonight for a feast of football. As I mentioned, it's been a really tough run for City against Western United in this competition. Just the fourth meeting, but you would have expected, considering the strength of City over the last couple of seasons, that they would have at least one victory against Western United, but it hasn't been the case. Western winning both of their matchups last season, and then earlier this campaign in round 3 it was a 2-2 draw. Wilkinson and McNamara putting City ahead after 18 Keane opened the scoring, and then a late equaliser from Carly Johnson ensured it was 2-2. So two very evenly matched sides you'd garner from that result. True. And almost turned over. This is where Western United are going to try and exploit Melbourne City, no doubt, really trying to press them high up the pitch. Savitsky and now Hieda, who scored the winner against Adelaide United last weekend. And Chinema does well not to concede a corner. Ma looking for Lagazzo. It's going to spill here for Taranto. And well picked off by Torpy, but Western United back on the ball. And this may sit up. It has been raining here in Melbourne, and Hieda is going to earn a corner on this occasion. No, it's come off Hieda last. Little unfortunate there. Well spotted by the referee here. It's always tough in these kind of situations, yeah. And this is quite an intriguing start to this match. Western United dominating possession. Here goes Melissa Taranto. Otto tries to nod it away. And now Torpy bursting forward. Has a couple of options in Henry and Wilkinson, and uses City's all-time leading goal scorer, Policina. And here's Ross Backen. Stott. And Briley Henry is able... No, she's not able to keep it from crossing the sideline. It looked as though she had for a moment. Just her second start of the campaign. You can see that knee heavily strapped. She lost 8 weeks of the pre-season recovering from that MCL injury. So City have wanted to be cautious with her this season, as here goes Hannah Keane. Bearing down on goal, finding Lagazzo. And it will be another goal kick, but what an opportunity for Chloe Lagazzo. And you can see the frustration. Western did think it was a corner. Referee says it's just a goal kick, and there's Otto. Well, it did look to be straight out off Otto, but maybe the referee on that occasion thought that Lagazzo got a little bit of a touch as she dove in trying to get a glance on the ball. Wilkinson nicely shielded away from Dakic, and now Ross Backen. Hughes and Torpy. This is promising from Melbourne City, but Western United getting themselves back on the ball. I was just mentioning last week that clash between Melbourne City and Wellington was something like 85-86% possession City had for the first 10 minutes. It's turned around the other way here. Western really dominant to start this match. Melbourne City getting their chances mainly on the counter-attack. So this one's shaping up very intriguingly. How do Western approach this? Are they a side that's going to sit back, as we've seen in previous weeks? Dario Vidicic has spoken about that this week. As we just see Wilkinson just straying slightly offside. But Dario Vidicic did mention that some sides have been keen to sit back, get players behind the ball, choke up the space for City like the Knicks did last week. Western United may be keen, though, to really try and squeeze and press Melbourne City in this match. They come in full of confidence. They've got the wood over Melbourne City in those 3 previous meetings. Liziane Prue, part of the Canadian World Cup squad. Of course, knocked out here by Australia in that final group stage match. She wasn't a part of that side. She was on the bench, part of that extended squad, not getting any game time. Grace Maher swerving away from Garlich. Was there a little nudge on Legaza? There may have been there from Rebecca Stott, the 2 internationals coming together. They'll know each other extremely well, having come up against each other at A-League women's level, but also across the globe internationally as well. Ieda, touch cut out by Chinema, and here's Briley Henry. May have got Grace Maher there. Has the ball crossed the sideline? I don't think it has. And Chinema says, well, I'll go for a run then, if no one wants to keep playing. That was bizarre. And you can really see the wet weather today in Melbourne does mean that the ball is going to hold up on this surface. Not something you're used to seeing in dry summer conditions, which has been the case for a lot of this summer period, as Hannah Keane wins a free kick in a decent area here. And this is this bizarro moment here. The ball just hitting the line and literally just sat there. For all money, it looked to be going over the sideline. It just hit the chalk and wouldn't budge. So Legazo with some words of advice here to Adriana Taranto, who's in the form of a life goal scoring wise, 4 in her last 6. Got some good targets there in the box. The likes of Keane, who's keen to end that goal drought. Maybe Legazo could be an option. And Legazo is going to go direct for goal and forces a good save. It had to be a sharp one from the Canadian Prue. Maybe that's what Chloe Legazo was just saying to Taranto. I'm going to try and put it in the top corner. Did it take a little deflection on the way that just assisted it in flight? It was a good hit regardless. 2 of the international imports there for Melbourne City. Chloe Legazo just gets her workspace sorted here for the corner. And she drills it into the middle of the box. Savitsky and now Chinema. Cern giving chase, but great speed. Caitlin Torpy, but won back by Western United. Otto's header up to Garlich. Grace Maher. Curling delivery, but Prue awake to the danger. Going to have to be really wary of Hannah Keane in this one. And despite Western United controlling possession to start this match, Melbourne City quickly have turned the table in their favour. Stott and Prue. I mentioned pre-game Melbourne City, big focus for them going into the back end of this season, not to fall into the challenges that they suffered last season. Remember, just 2 losses in their first 11 last campaign, and then they won just 1 of their final 7. Similar stage of the season, of course, being a bit longer. So 4 matches extra in the regular season this time around. And they're just 2 losses from those opening 13. So it's this period of the season where they just want to keep rolling and keep moving towards what would be the premiership, which we know Sydney FC have dominated in years gone by. Their last premiership, Melbourne City, in the 1920 season, where they did the double and won the championship as well. Rossbacken. Isn't it fantastic to see Carly Rossbacken back playing football, starting for Melbourne City after dealing with that crippling foot injury which has affected her over the last 3 to 4 years. Hilary Beale stabbing it out. And City really starting to assert their authority on this match with possession. As you would expect, Melbourne City up above the 80% mark on the passing accuracy as Pollicina has some space. Well blocked by Dakic. And now Pollicina. Is she onside? No, she's not. Just beyond the last defender. Western United breathing a sigh of relief. No surprises though. It was City's leading assist maker, goal creator, Daniela Garlich, who put it there on a plate for Pollicina, who was just offside. Hannah Wilkinson now draws the flag from the assistant referee. Not quite as prolific her last season and a half with City as she was in her first. 14 goals in 14 matches in that first season with City. 6 last campaign in 14 matches, and this is number 14 for this season. She's currently got 5, Hannah Wilkinson. But the good news for City is they really have a number of options. Pollicina has also grabbed 5 with Ekic, who's out suspended, with 6, filling the big hole left by Holly McNamara's ACL injury. Rossbacken and Garlich. Little slip from Safiski, so it just shows you how wet this surface is going to be a little challenging for the players with their footing. Chinema has been heavily involved in her return to the starting side. Henry, the 2 teammates with the young Matildas at that recent World Cup. That pass wasn't a great one from Chinema, and Keane has pounced. But Laura Hughes getting back, snuffing out the danger. and trying to launch their Melbourne City defence into attack almost immediately. Hasn't Laura Hughes been a terrific signing for Daria Vidicic? Biggest move of her career in this competition, at least. She did spend some time in Iceland in 2020. But away from Canberra United, a product of the ACT. Caitlin Torpey, they're a product of Queensland. They have the best talent from right across the country in this Melbourne City side and beyond. There's a Victorian product in Chinema. Back to Stott, who has played a pass a little short. And Hieda's won it back for Western United. Now Taranto, Adriana Taranto, Hieda, Legazzo looking for Keane. Western United maybe looking for one pass too many. And now Wilkinson. Turning around Dakic and standing still. Oh, that was brilliant work in possession by Hannah Wilkinson. But that chance for Western United, they would have been hoping for so much more in the end. Legazzo just slipping on contact didn't help, but maybe if she had a time over again, she would have taken the shot on goal. She is their leading goal scorer this season with 5. Keane just the 2 for the campaign, but has the 3 assists. Hughes, Henry with a feet right on the chalk, just sits it in behind here for Garlich. And now Taranto emerges with possession and can't find Legazzo, who is making just a slightly different angled run there. But signs are good for Western United. Just the 2 defeats in 7 matches since Cat Smith took over. 4 wins and 1 draw. Really impressive consistently as Torpey is caught offside. That's another one against Melbourne City. You can just see final third entries popped up. Western United creating a few half chances. And here's Caitlin Torpey. Gee, that is tight. That is really tight. And that's just the speed of Torpey maybe causing the assistant to think that she was offside. It looked as though she was well onside there based on that replay. And there's 4 offsides against City. Maybe that last one a little bit unfair on Torpey as Cern searching for Hieda. Chinema's first touch let her down, and then the clearance from Prue. Well, she had a disastrous moment a fortnight ago against Western Sydney. She very nearly repeated the dose there. That would have been a horror show had that deflected off Hieda and into the back of the net. Not a great moment there for City. First Chinema and then Prue. And this is where Western United are going to try and suffocate City. They insist on playing out from the back. That is their style. That is what their coach Daria Vidicic drills into them. And Western United are going to try and take advantage, no doubt. And they have done so on this occasion. Hieda into the box. A touch from Otto. Dakic. All the way back to Cern, who's chipping, looking for Hieda. Was hoping that Keane was there, but it was the more diminutive Hieda, and it was easy pickings for Prue. So here come Western. Look at this, 5 players in green and black. So City have to go over the top, and they give it up. Savicki, and you could just see bottom of screen, Dario Vidicic, hands up in the air. He was unhappy about that. We'll see how they approach it this time, City. Prue is going to go long, and again turned over. So they are causing City some headaches here. Western United, Taranto. Savicki unable to keep it in. Well, this is the test of any great side, isn't it? Sticking to their principles. Western United putting them under serious pressure with the press. So much so it's forced off the shin guard of Taylor Otto, who's just sorted that all out. And here they come, City. Out from the back again. Western United winning possession back. It's such an intriguing tactical battle, this one. And they get a free kick out of it, Melbourne City. Well, Kat Smith's come into this Western United side. She was the coach with the development squad a couple of years ago, and she said that really helped, having an understanding, a connection with a lot of the players. Of course, she was coaching in the NPL Victoria as well. And an assistant coach with Melbourne Victory in the past. So it's been a huge asset for her coming into this role, that knowledge of this squad, and certainly has been a big reason why they've been able to turn things around after Mark Torcaso, of course, led them to the grand final last year, but took on the Philippines national team job. The captain, Savicki, of course, of Western United, part of that side that played in the World Cup. And he said he wanted to focus full-time on that role, which is fair enough. Such a demanding job. And the Philippines looking to build from that World Cup where they had that famous victory against the Football Ferns. Serena Bolden, the scorer of the match winner. Hannah Wilkinson scored in the 1-0 win for the Football Ferns against Norway. So many of these players in this competition playing a key role for their nations at that World Cup last year. Hieda, Savicki. Some space just opening up at the top of the D here for Savicki. Decides against shooting. And Keane in the middle. Can she scrounge it over the line? No, not quite. Gee whiz, that was close for Western United. Stott is in some pain. But Hannah Keane wondering how she hasn't scored as that strike squeezed into the post. Just squirted out from underneath Keane and Stott. Wow, it might have been an own goal in the end if it had gone in. Dario Vidicic, you would think, is saying that he thought it was a foul on Stott as they both came together. So 25 minutes gone in this clash. And Keane hitting the post. Lagazo with that strike. Well saved by Prue from the free kick earlier in the game. City yet to create a gilt-edged opportunity in this match so far. But the tactical battle is just so intriguing to watch. City trying to play their way. You can see almost double the passes City of Western United. City focusing a lot of their energy on that passing, moving Western United around. Western United really trying to press City, as they've done so again here and won back the ball. Taranto. Dakic. And Lagazzo giving it up to Hughes. But Taranto is keen to forage for possession and just nips at the heels there of Henry. Taranto to a twin sister, Melissa. Great understanding between those two. Came up through the ranks at Melbourne Victory, and then after 2 seasons they both spent there. Didn't get an opportunity, went back to NPL level with Calder United. And then, of course, part of that Western United side that finished second in the regular season, went through to the grand final. Melbourne City going out in the first week of that final series in one of the games of the season, that cracking semi-final on penalties. Hieda driving forward. Lagazzo, does she look to shoot this time? She gets it onto her right foot. Keane is there, and Keane scores for Western United. The 5-match goal drought, her biggest in this competition, is over against one of the sides she loves scoring against. That's 3 in 3 against City. And Western deserve this 1-0 lead. Chloe Lagazzo, their leading goal scorer, with the shot. Prue could only palm it into the path of Keane, returning to the starting side after getting over that hamstring issue. And she has rewarded Kat Smith. And Western United with her first goal in 5 matches. Doesn't it show you how brilliant she's been in this competition, that her biggest goal drought, 5 matches, and she's back on the score sheet in this all-Victorian affair. And can you believe it? Western United with the lead against City. And they're going to have to come from behind if they want to end this Western dominance in this rivalry. Western winning both matches between these two last season. 2-2 draw earlier in the campaign. But history might not be kind overall to City, as we see Henry win this free kick. But if you remember back in round 3, Hannah Keane opened the scoring for Western United. And Melbourne City were able to respond through McNamara and Wilkinson to make it 2-1. And then Carly Johnson equalising for a 2-2 draw. So City have shown that they can come from behind against Western already this season. But that was then, and this is now. Policina standing over the free kick. And she's driving it towards the target of Wilkinson. Garlich into the breadbasket in the end of Beale. She goes a metre either side, and it's probably 1-1. And that's the best chance they've had in this game. How often do we see it? Immediately after one side scores, there's a chance for the opposition at the other end. And Melbourne City, they'll be ruining that missed opportunity for Garlich, who has scored 5 goals this season. Second top goal scorer for them. Torpy should track this down, cuts it back. Here is Briley Henry. Deflection off the post, I should say the woodwork, and somehow over. Looked like it was going to sit on the crossbar there for a moment from the strike of Henry. Well, this is the chance for Garlich, literally straight at Hilary Beale, and then Torpy's speed. You've got to credit the speed for that chance even being created, and then off the back of Ma, and then sits on the crossbar. Policina fires it across. Otto's header. Torpy back across. Wilkinson! She will not miss from there, Hannah Wilkinson. And just as it was in round 3, Hannah Wilkinson scores against Western United. And she's got number 6 for the campaign, and we are all square. Keane at one end, Wilkinson at the other. The football fern with a crucial goal to get Melbourne City back on a level playing field with Western United. And that is what champion sides do. Respond like that after going behind almost immediately. They just turned the dial, and Western United, who worked, you'd probably say, for half an hour for their goal, score it, and then immediately give up that advantage. And that's got to be frustrating for them. But it's got to be something that Dario Vidicic would be pleased with, the fact that his side was able to respond. He wouldn't be happy with the way they conceded, but the fact that they were able to respond so swiftly. And now Garlich off the shoulder. It looked to be there of Sardo. And Sardo, the former City player, driving forward. Lagazzo into the box towards Keane. Oh, gee whiz, that was a near thing for Melbourne City once again. Almost another calamity at the back. Prue and Stott. In the end, it was Chinema who got the clearance away. Lagazzo with that early delivery towards Keane. And what an enthralling first half we've seen here at Amy Park. The chess battle for the first 25 minutes, and then goals over the last 8 minutes. Chances are plenty. They're really stacking up here for both sides. Policina, Chinema, and Hughes. So City leading the total shots. Probably doesn't tell you the story around those half chances Western have created, where they've put a cross into the box and haven't been able to get on the end of it. It's happened on a couple of occasions. Chloe Lagazzo getting into good areas. Sardo as well. Western more efficient though, getting those shots on target. Prue. That's testing out Stott, who just had to put in a little burst of energy to track down the pass. Taranto, was she fouled? Or did Briley Henry get the ball? That's what Rebecca Ducot is saying. Second most experienced referee in this competition's history in match number 100. The referee here this evening. And Taranto, this is the incident. Henry looked to get a slice of the ball, but also got a bit of Taranto as well, who is grabbing at the ankle. Western United doing plenty of the dirty work in this game, winning back possession off Melbourne City. And Lagazzo maybe just querying why there wasn't a free kick. Adriana Taranto just checking on her twin sister, Melissa. Well, as I mentioned before, both of them debuted for Melbourne Victory as teenagers almost a decade ago. A couple of seasons there, and then they went back into the NPL with Calder United. Earned a spot in the A-League Women's with Western United. Both junior Matildas. The under-17 side, who are also looking to qualify for the World Cup this year. They've got an under-17 Asian Cup coming up, as do the young Matildas. But of course, being the age they are, there's more young Matildas in this competition. This is the opening goal. Hannah Keane nodding it in after Chloe Lagazzo's shot was saved, and then Hannah Wilkinson feeding off a lovely assist here from Caitlin Torpey. Hasn't she been a consistent player, Torpey, for Melbourne City since arriving from Brisbane Roar? Third season with the club for Torpey. Rebecca Stott here for her 7th campaign. Wilkinson unable to bring it down, and Cern distributing to Hieda. Lagazzo. And again, it's Stott coming in and giving away a free kick for the contact on Lagazzo, who looks quite frustrated. Maybe just asking. That's a couple, she's saying. Stott coming into the back of me. We'll keep an eye on that, as that delivery from Ma was decent towards Lagazzo. Wonderful set piece taker is Grace Ma. We saw that during a time, of course, Canberra United. Played for Melbourne Victory as well. And Torpey's delivery is going to be tracked down by Briley Henry. Takes on and beats Ma initially, but couldn't beat Hieda, who was getting back to do the defensive work. Wonderful work from Hieda to get back and do that defensive work. Japanese scholarship player at this Western United side, who got the opportunity after playing for Calder United last season in the NPL. Real production line of talent for this side. Wilkinson. Garlich. Scrapping for possession. Savitsky. And Keane got it away. Ducot's going to come back here. And that's because there's an issue for Western United once again. This time it's Alana Cern, is it? Yeah. Slow to her feet. Just grabbing the right boot. Didn't look to be a whole lot there. Maybe just a little roll on the way down. Looked as though if anyone might have been in pain, it was Garlich, because she had a foot trodden on. But Cern certainly in a little bit of pain as she looks to run that out. Torpey looking up. Picks the option of Garlich. Hughes. Chinema. Spilling wide for Briley Henry. Final 5 minutes of this match. Regulation time in this first half. Torpey. Henry. Space to roam. Otto found herself in a momentary area of green pastures, but Western players came from everywhere. Ross back in. And should be a throw here for City, and is. Snapped in. Wilkinson allowed some wriggle room to get herself free. Taranto coming after it. Is this a free kick for City? It is, in a good area. Adriana Taranto, you can see by her reaction a sigh of frustration, and she is mentioning that to the assistant referee because she knows how damaging this could be. Melbourne City scoring off a corner to equalise. And it's Policina, who, just like Grace Maher, has a wand of a free kick that she can produce. Her right foot as opposed to Maher's left. And I'll apologise to Rihanna Policina there. Probably the worst free kick she's put in this afternoon, maybe this season. But what a period she's had. You know, she's only 4 goals off Hannah Wilkinson as City's all-time leading goal scorer. Wilkinson extending that to 4 with the goal earlier in the game. Wilkinson up to 26, Policina 22. Might surprise some people. But despite playing in midfield, she's certainly racked up the goals for City in the 3 seasons since moving from Newcastle. And now Western really finding it difficult, getting out of their own defensive third. Ross Backen's throw, just threw it away. Totally relieves the pressure. And you could see she knew, he knows. Dario Vidicic, they really had Western United penned in there. The start of the game with the intensity, the press. And they'll want to get a bit of time in the sheds with Kat Smith. They'll just discuss how they're going to approach the second half after they worked so hard to get the lead. Maher. Maybe a moment here for Western United. Keane in the duel with her compatriot. Legazzo. Too much strength in midfield. Legazzo driving the shot, and it was dipping, but it just swerved wide. Prue was concerned for a moment. I've seen a score like that before. One similar strike this season was that goal against Wellington back in round 4. And here it was. She really loves to get that dip. So dangerous for a goalkeeper. Hannah Wilkinson looked to probe forward. Western have won it back. Is there a final chance here before half-time? Can one of these two sides separate themselves? Prue. Only as far as Taranto. Legazzo. And just sort of a half shot, maybe thought about linking with the aider, and in the end it was quite simple for Prue. So we've got a couple of minutes of stoppage time. Policina and Henry. Is this the final moment here? The final chance. It's not going to be a corner, but it will be a throw for City. 90 seconds here. Matthews. Henry. Gullich. Ross back in. Just a little too high for Henry. And Hieda sees the run of Lagazzo, who's going to try and spring forward here. She's got Keane in the middle. Hannah Keane had so much space around her, but Stott got herself in between Lagazzo and Keane, and the pass wasn't able to find its mark. But some little half opportunities brewing here at the end of the first half. Lagazzo again. Keane. Space out wide for Sardo. On the angle, Sardo! And Keane just missed time to run with the cross. And Sardo knows how close that was. And right before halftime, Melbourne City breathing a big sigh of relief. It's been a good finish to the half from both sides. And Henry has won it back. Here's the opportunity for Melbourne City. What a save from Beale. How significant could that be in the wash-up? Note that moment down right on the stroke of half-time. Hilary Beale, last season's goalkeeper of the year, denying one of the premium strikers in this competition. And at half-time at Amy Park, Hannah Keane's goal for Western United cancelled out by Hannah Wilkinson, and at half-time, City 1, Western 1. So the two Hannahs on the score sheet, the two internationals. Keane, of course, from the US. And she was there to end her 5-match goal drought with a third goal in 3 matches against Melbourne City. She loves playing against City, and she was not going to miss from there with a head. Back in the starting side. And then Melbourne City's Hannah responded in similar fashion. Torpy put it across goal. A twist of the neck from Wilkinson. And City were back level within 3 minutes. Their leading goal scorer in club history. Both of them leading goal scorers in their respective clubs' history. Melbourne City dominating possession as you would expect, but Western United able to create chances via the press. Melbourne City giving up possession due to the intensity of that press from Western United, and they have done well in those situations, but they haven't been able to find that go-ahead goal. And City, well, they had that chance right on the stroke of half-time. Beale made the save. There is so much to play for, so much at stake in the second half. City looking for their first win over Western. Western looking to go second on the table. We'll be back with the second half very soon.
Get ready to drive down to round the second here at 10 months. The guys Suzuki drive down. You sit yourself up on the screen and grab one to drive exterior of the to the drive. Suzuki waiting. This is Mitch's family. Now, Mum is up here at the moment. Mum asked Mitch if he knows what a suburb is. Mitch, do you know what a suburb is? Great, okay. Well, I'm going to take a look at some the area in Melbourne suburbs as you can in the next 30 seconds. Jack, you're going first. How confident are you feeling?
Pretty confident.
All right, let's get started. The time starts in 3, 2, 1. Just keep going the whole of the backside, Jack. That's 7. Keep going, Jack. Keep going. In touch now, Jack. You don't have time to make Jack. Okay. How many is that? 7. All right, Jack. Let's see how this Barbieri goes. Check out Experts family. This is Melissa Barbieri taking the Melbourne Southern Challenge. Jack, I know you just added on south, east, north, and west. I said every suburb you listed there, you could one. But not sexy there. Jack, we've got a present here. This is a brand new overseas star. Jack's been playing along. The second half not too far away. Jack knows the massive position. Very nice little pair of players not too far away. Well, since it is announced as football track across the fourth round of the FA Cup. Every game live exclusive this weekend. Sign up today for a 7-day free trial for new customers. Only returns at condition supply. Visit paramountplus.com for details. The FA Cup fourth round only on Paramount Plus. Well, happy Wednesday, family. Proudly supports the business and changes and developing business both on and off the field. Premier Finance Service Supply, the weekly league, ones for free tickets. Since this is down at its halftime, here is a huge round of applause. Well done, everyone. Thanks again to members who continue to support the game. We all love that every level. Give tomorrow's stars a chance to play on the pitch and show the best supporters in our league. See you later.
Do you want me to sing a Kane song or something? First match of match day 14 in the Liberty A-League, season 16 of this competition, and it is the ladder leaders, Melbourne City, who are being held by Western United at halftime. Western United opening the scoring, and this is how they did so. It was their leading goal scorer in club history, Hannah Keane, who was running off the back of this shot from Chloe Legarzo, which was saved by Lizzie-Anne Prue right into her path, and she ended a 5-match goal drought to make it 1-0 to the green and black. And they really at that point looked as though they were going to continue to dominate this contest. They created the best chances up until that 29th minute, and then almost immediately after conceding, Melbourne City with Hannah Wilkinson, a twist of the neck, a twist of the dagger. It was 1-1 for Melbourne City, and they're back level. And you can see Hannah Wilkinson, Hannah Keane, the two Hannahs, the tall strikers, going at it here at Amy Park as we're back underway in the second half. Cannot wait for this. The first 45 minutes was a fascinating tactical duel, and the second 45, your sense, is going to be more of the same. And what a start this would be for City. Briley Henry leaves it behind, and she had a really good start to the first half. Almost had a side on goal there inside the opening 20 seconds or so. So if you have just joined us and you're checking in, seeing what's happening here in this all-Victorian affair, Melbourne City coming into this match off the back of that 2-1 win over Wellington, bouncing back from defeat against Western Sydney Wanderers. Western United beat Adelaide 1-0, a response from that 1-0 defeat to Sydney in the grand final rematches. Rossbacken and Sardo coming together there. A little awkward for Rossbacken. We know that foot issue. She comes back down on Sardo. You wonder how Sardo may have escaped sanction there. Now it is deep in Melbourne City's defensive half, but still looked a little dangerous on Rossbacken. Not a dirty player. Sardo hasn't been yellow carded this season in 10 appearances now. But just an error of judgment. So Kat Smith just giving Legarzo and Cern a few words from the sideline. No doubt would have reassessed and probably been pretty happy with that first half. Overall, it was probably a 5-10 minute period which City had after Western United opened the scoring, when they had their best patch of the game. And of course that chance right before halftime. So Prue getting a defence organised. Legarzo thumping it, and Keane with the strike first time, which has just gone wide and may have taken a deflection off a City player. She knows how close that was to a second goal in this game, Hannah Keane. Extremely frustrated that she didn't hit the target, and she might be able to do so here from the corner from Grace Mar. They've scored 3 goals from corners this season, Western. Legarzo, Keane again with a chance. Just couldn't readjust her body, and she just cut a frustrated figure, those 2 chances within a matter of moments. Cern. A loss in midfield from Taranto. Torpy in behind. Wilkinson in the middle. There's a double for Hannah Wilkinson. But the flag has gone up, and Laura Hughes' reaction says it all, doesn't it? No way, she said to the referee. And Western United may have got away with one here. A wry smile from Hilary Beale. Torpy definitely was onside. So there's no offside there. Is there an offside here? Wilkinson? Well, you'd probably argue that she's just offside. Well, that's a good line from Western United. A very good line. But Caitlin Torpy, she's been so influential in this game. The assist for Wilkinson in the first half. But to be fair, it wasn't her best work of this game. She's done so much. Speeding away down the sideline. And here she is again, Torpy, but the flag comes up for offside. So here it is, Torpy. There's the ball. And there's Wilkinson, who looked to be just in front of both Maher and Dakic. Hannah Wilkinson hasn't scored a double since the finals in 2022 in the 4-2 defeat to Sydney FC. So that would have been a big moment for her. Just the one match where she scored more than two, and of course you remember that, where she scored all 5 in the Melbourne derby against Victory back in 2021. Hannah Keane chasing her first brace of this season. You can hear the frustration from Dario Vidicic and the City coaching staff with that decision, as the free kick goes Western United's way. Should say just the throw in the end. Taranto, well, she didn't spy Torpy. One of the fastest players on the field. Unable to punish Western United for that error of judgment. And now Sardo in front of Lagazzo, and Keane into an empty net. Hannah Keane with a brace for the first time this season. And it's Chloe Lagazzo once again so influential after that delivery from Sardo, and it's Western who return to the lead. Lagazzo very, very thankful for that delivery from Sardo. And then Keane, well, that's what she's paid to do. Finish in those kind of moments, and that she did. What a return to the starting side. Good decision from coach Kat Smith just to limit her minutes in recent matches. She mentioned it was hamstring awareness, playing in that out-and-out striking role, her preferred role. And she's back in the goals in a big way. 5 matches without a goal, and she's got a brace for the first time in her second season down under. In the A-League Women's, that is. Of course, she did play in the NPL with Calder United a number of years ago. And here comes a card, and it's going to Alana Cern. So Caitlin Torpy causing the foul to be made by Cern. with that speed she possesses, and Cern just could not let her get away after seeing what she's already done in this match. I should say keen with Alamein in the Victorian competition back in the day. She came over after a stint with Newcastle United in England to Alamein. Also spent some time in Portugal with Braga and in Spain with Sporting de Huelva. And then joined Western in 2022. Savitsky and Dakic. This is Savitsky, I should say. Cern. And now Taranto. Lagazzo. There's confirmation of that yellow card as Hieda getting in behind, and for a moment there it looked as though it was going to bobble out of the grasp of Prue. Fortunately, though, for the Canadian-born goalkeeper, she was able to squash it in there underneath and ensure it didn't squeeze its way through. And now City through Briley Henry. Space here for Torpy. Pollicina. You just wonder how different things would have looked if Melbourne City had have scored first in the second half. That disallowed goal. But it's Torpy to Wilkinson, and Wilkinson this time was onside and couldn't pick out the top corner. She is causing all kinds of havoc for the Western United defences, Caitlin Torpy. This has been an outstanding performance from her. This was the chance at the other end. Hieda almost squeezing it under Prue. And they may yet get another chance as we see Pollicina. Henry has Garlich in the middle, and Wilkinson, this time Wilkinson, you thought for all money the net was going to bulge. But it's a defensive header, which allows Western United to get themselves out of trouble. Free kick goes the way of the visitors. And this is the moment for Melbourne City. You just thought Wilkinson, here we go, she had time and the ball just drifted over her head. That lands on Wilkinson's head and it's almost certainly 2-2. And the Keane Wilkinson show continues. But as I was just mentioning, that goal that was rubbed out for Wilkinson for offside, that would have been 2-1 City. You just wonder how different things could have been. Instead, Western go up the other end. Keane scores 2-1 Western. A game of very fine margins. And Melbourne City, if they are to get their first win over Western United in this competition's history, well, they're going to have to score another couple at least. But with the best attack in this competition, they will back themselves to do just that. Savitsky, the Western captain, sliding it out wide to Sardo and Cern. Dakic got pressured from Torpy. So Western dominating the shots, but you almost say Melbourne City just turning the dial at the moment. I'd love to be a bit more efficient getting those shots on target. Pollicina with the outside of the boot. What a pearler of a pass that was to Torpy, who takes on Cern. She knows she's got it for pace. Cern, well, she's walking a tightrope. And gee, that will be a moment to reflect upon. Alana Cern saying there was nothing doing. And Torpy, well, that facial expression says how close was that? Torpy was just desperate, wasn't she? She was desperate to win the penalty, win the free kick, but it's certainly a moment as Alana Cern wins that little battle. But it's certainly a moment that could have an impact on the remainder of this match. That Cern-Torpy duel. Right now, though, it's out to Henry's side. Torpy should track it down. Here they go again. Cern v Torpy. Torpy gets away from her. Policina stabs it. Too deep for Wilkinson. And Briley Henry just mistimed her run. But if Melbourne City keep creating chances like they have in the last few minutes, they will certainly find an equaliser. Melbourne City continuing to dominate possession. Otto. Henry. It's been a good outlet down the right for City in this match. Galich. And this is a left field stat. A bizarre one. Not sure whether you can read too much into it, but these two sides have conceded the most goals in this period of the game. The 15 minutes between the 60th and the 75th minute. It's quite a strange one. As Wilkinson, well, here we go. She can't find the back of the net. She lifted it over Beale, but she couldn't lift it on target. And another chance goes begging for Melbourne City. And as if almost on cue, she almost continued this run of goals that Western and Melbourne City as well have conceded during this period between the 60th and 75th. Western have conceded 6. Melbourne City have conceded 7. By far and away the most in the competition in this passage of the game. So maybe we can expect plenty of goals in the next 15 minutes. We'll wait and see. Henry. Wilkinson. Garlich. But Beale was awake to the danger. And, well, I don't know if there's much in that. But that's all smarts from the American goalkeeper. On loan from Racing Louisville in the NWSL. Didn't play in the competition last year. Back to the Liberty A-League. A little belatedly this season, but she has been a rock for Western. 3 clean sheets this season. And they know Western, if they can be the next to score, it's going to make things very, very difficult for Melbourne City. Rossbacken being put under some pressure by Legazzo. Torpy's touch, couldn't bring it under control. Taranto links with Legazzo. Taranto, was she checked there by Rossbacken? Not according to the referee. Taranto's done there very well there. And then Rossbacken using her body position and strength expertly well. Rosbacken still didn't look best pleased. She had a few words to say to the referee, and to be fair to Rosbacken, no nutmeg there, just went around the side, did Taranto, and then was basically hauling at her arm. Rosbacken was asking where was the foul earlier. And that was the question she was asking of Rebecca Ducot as the ball bounces and skips forward towards Pollicina. Western have looked better with the ball when they've been level in this match. They haven't been behind in the match, but when they've gone in front, that's when Melbourne City have really started to look the better side in this game. And it's happening again here since taking the advantage. They haven't really created many opportunities, Western United. Maybe there's one about to arise. No, it's not. Otto. Torpy. Pollicina. Couldn't find the pass to Henry. Hughes. Swivels and swerves and then back to Briley Henry. Chinema lobs it up towards Wilkinson. Off Garlich, it deflects up to Wilkinson. Can she turn Dackett? She finds Pollicina. It pinballs in the box and deflects away. Gee, that close here, Melbourne City. Rosbacken. Chinema. Henry. Left it behind for the moment, but Briley Henry turns on the afterburners, drives it across. Torpy picks up the scraps, couldn't find the target. And Western cleared to safety momentarily. But the intensity's coming here from Melbourne City. Staring down the barrel of a second defeat in 3. They're throwing everything here at Western United. This was the moment for Wilkinson. Just held it up beautifully. Pollicina, but the desperation from Western, able to prevent the equaliser. And Stott, frustrated, she threw her head back after that pass. Wilkinson wins it back for City. Torpy had the ice skates on. Wilkinson now looking to turn provider. Mars header away. Keane getting involved, dropping deep. Stott and Garlich. You just sense frustration bubbling just under the surface here for Melbourne City. It's not totally apparent, but they really want to take a chance sooner rather than later because they know they're all piling up here. This won't help. Another offside goes against Melbourne City. Now, if it's Torpy that's offside, can we have a look at that again? Gee, based on the grass, probably say that might have been a tough call on Torpy again, just as it was in the first half. Beale has a moment she'd rather forget there. So here's that offside call again. Well, don't know if she's offside again. You look at the grass, you look across Cern, and I think it was Ma in the middle. Looked to be keeping her on side. It was line ball. She's too quick, Caitlin Torpey. Blink and you miss the speed that she possesses. Chinema, this is a little awkward one. Hieda was coming from the blind spot. And now Hughes leaving it for Henry. Stott drives it up the middle to a Kiwi teammate, but Wilkinson couldn't link with Policina. Can City keep out Western United here? It's going to be a corner. Western United chasing a priceless 2-goal advantage. And there's some changes on the way here for Western United. Carly Johnson and Stacey Papadopoulos getting ready to come on. Looks as though we may see a reshuffle in the back line with Papadopoulos coming into the game. But we'll wait for this corner to take place. Lagazzo. Some deep breaths. Hannah Keane making the run at the near post, and it's the back post where Savitsky was sneaking in, looking to poach her first goal in this competition. Well, the Bees went to the honeypot, which was Hannah Keane, and Savitsky was almost left free at the back post. And Savitsky's there, but the pass just not right in front of Lagazzo. And while Western have gone to their bench, Melbourne City have also got some numbers around halfway as they look to throw out some reinforcements. Taranto. Stott with the intervention. Keane, swiveling. City players everywhere. She's done well. Very intelligent work from Hannah Keane, with City players all around her, and she's earned a set piece. So Julia Sardo comes off. Papadopoulos goes on. Carly Johnson is coming on. And Natasha Dakic is coming from the field after her first start of the season, playing at centre back. And Caitlin Carriage and Leah Davidson getting ready. So Briley Henry, just her second start of the season, just trying to build her back slowly after a season which was impacted by an MCL injury in the pre-season. Laura Hughes also coming off. Davidson on. Davidson also has been coming back from that long-term injury. Just her 6th appearance off the bench this season. That ankle injury which forced her out at the back end of the last campaign. So Western United with Johnson. First touch of the ball here. Earns a corner. So Western won't mind this. Grace Marr trotting across. Stacey Papadopoulos. First appearance off the bench this season. She started all previous 13. Played every match now for Western this season. Marr's delivery is deep. Prue with the punch. Taranto back into the mix. Wilkinson with the clearance away to Lagazzo. And Torpey ends that attack momentarily. And you can see Caitlin Carriage coming on the left, so Torpey's gone across to the right side. Ma stabs it through to Lagazo. Savitsky! Again, it's Prue who has to just touch it over the crossbar from a shot which was dipping dangerously. That time from Jacqueline Savitsky. The Philippines international who was born in Canada, testing out the Canadian goalkeeper. Internationals everywhere you look here. Here's a Matilda and Lagazo into the side netting as she looked to link once again with Keane. So the final 15 minutes upon us now. A good period for Western United in matches. 5 goals during this period this season, their best. And down goes Torpy, free kick, Melbourne City. Well, I said Western have scored a bunch of goals in this period. They are going to have to try and stop Melbourne City. The best attack in this competition from pinching an equaliser. And Cern is extremely lucky that there's no yellow card to come with the free kick. She's already on a yellow card. You can hear the Melbourne City bench mentioning that to the 4th official. Caitlin Williams is in that role this afternoon. Cern walking an ever narrowing tightrope. Galich is going to leave it for Polacina, and this time it's Beale who has to push it up and over. In slippery conditions, was keen to ensure it was the safety first option. Polacina drives it near post, and it's another corner. Otto saying came off the head. Thumbs up from her. Knows what it's like to play in the hottest of cauldrons. She was part of the Celtic side who won the Scottish Cup final last year against Rangers. Big inclusion for Melbourne City this season in a first season in the Liberty A-League. Polacina came off Otto, tracked down by Davidson, links with Torpy, down goes Torpy again in the box. City bench once again up and about, but no whistle from the referee. Here it was, Torpy. All deemed legal from Savitsky. Rossbacken stopped. Keane tried to find Johnson. Papadopoulos. Johnson and Lagazo. A little bit of a tired pass there as it almost crossed the sideline behind Keane. And Davison has it taken off her toes by Keane. That is great endeavour from the Western striker, and it allows this opportunity for Lagazo. Chloe Lagazo took a touch but couldn't get it around the keeper. There's still a chance here for Johnson. Johnson! There it is for Western United. Carly Johnson off the bench, making up for lost time after that leg fracture earlier in the season. And what a return, coming off the bench and continuing where she left off earlier in the season. Charlie Johnson, who's been out since November with that leg fracture, back in the side, back on the score sheet. She's got 3 goals in her last 5 after that wonderful start to the season where she scored 2 in those first 6. But all told, it's 3 goals across her most recent 5 appearances. And Western United, 2 clear now. They've been desperate to get this 2-goal margin, and they finally have. And just as she did against City earlier in the season, she's scored again here. So what's going on in this match? Players that scored in that round 3 match have all got on the score sheet here. The only player that hasn't, unfortunately, is not available due to that very, very sad ACL injury for Holly McNamara. Outside of that, Wilkinson, she's scored. Keane, who scored in that match, has got a double. Johnson, who scored in that match, has got her goal as well. And Melbourne City are going to throw some more changes onto Amy Park here. Cern under the head of Stott. Taranto has given Hiater a lot of work to do. Chinema. Good win down in the corner. Torpy. Saviski. Can they grab a 4th here, Western United? Legazzo. And Johnson. Davison. Up to Wilkinson. Good strength, but left the pass short, and Ma goes for goal. She's not going to repeat her spectacular heroics we've seen before in this competition. How good was that goal a number of years ago for Canberra United against the Raw? Hasn't scored for Western United, so no doubt would be keen to get off the duck. Taranto. Papadopoulos. Papadopoulos. Keen on a hat-trick. Legazzo on the swivel. Squeezed it through. Papadopoulos is going to confirm a corner here. Looked as though it was going to be one anyway. Hannah Keane hasn't scored a hat-trick in this competition. A 3rd for her. Without a response from Melbourne City would all but secure the 3 points for Western United. And Melbourne City staring down the barrel of 2 losses in 3. Grace Ma driving it across. Otto with the header away, but only as far as Taranto. Saviski. And it was something I touched on earlier in the call. Melbourne City, remember last season, the back half of the season. Appeals for handball here against Rossbacken. Referee saying it was all good, and then Carrich's touch put Rossbacken under serious pressure, but Davison for a moment looked to get out of a pickle. Carrich. Legazzo. And Rossbacken showing her frustration with the decision. And here comes the change finally for Melbourne City. They've been waiting for a while to make these changes. Varley is going to come on for Chinema. So Leah Varley and Tian McKenna. Just Varley's 3rd appearance of the season. Her sister Sophia is City's third choice keeper. And Tian McKenna coming off the bench for the 10th. For 10th appearance this season, 9 off the bench, 1 start for her. Sister Letitia not in the side for this match today. Lagazo with the arm raised in the box. Good skill from Grace Marr to sneak down the sideline and win a corner. And there is a nutmeg. Not the start that Varley wanted. Coming off the bench. Western United's goal difference at the moment on the live ladder +2, so another goal would certainly help boost that as Prue strong in the air. City have to go for it. We've seen them produce these kind of fight backs from a 3-1 scoreline before, most notably in that semi-final last year as Torpy is just thwarted by Savitsky. But Carriage wins it back for City. Leah Varley, great pass to Wilkinson, and maybe had a little more time than she first thought. Had Torpy out to her left. And Western United in this match have dominated the final third entries. They got themselves into that zone, Melbourne City there. But Wilkinson just snapping at the shot. She had a chance and she put it away for a City 2-1 lead, but was called back for offside, which she was correctly adjudged, but you just wonder the difference that would have made. And they had that great period right after half-time, Melbourne City at 1-1. They have got goals in them. Don't write them out from this point. But Carly Johnson, great work defensively. She just scored the goal to make it 3-1. Now she's winning it back and ending that Melbourne City attack. No surprises on that statistic. But the key one is on your screen, top left corner. 3-1 Western United. They've brought the game plan to unsettle Melbourne City, and they've found the goals to do so as well. Not that City have been without their chances by any stretch. And those are the tight margins in this game we all love. Lagazo looks up as City push forward. There's going to be lots of opportunities for Western United. Hannah Keane chasing a hat-trick. Down goes Hieda. Is that going to be the end of the section for Hannah Keane? Western are going to make another change. They've got Prakash and Rovers available on the bench. The young Prakash, the 17-year-old, the current young Matilda, who was part of those sides against China last year. But at the moment, Keane's still getting a chance off this set piece. Just a message there to Cern, maybe looking for a run here. Marr's delivery, too close to the goalkeeper. And Prue throws it out. Varley didn't show the intent to get there, and Prue had to slice it over the sideline. And Prakash is going to come on, so there will be no hat-trick today for Hannah Keane. But Western United fans will not care at all, because she has had her fingerprints all over this one. A brace for the first time this season. Ended a 5-match goal drought and gave Western United a 2-1 lead, which Carly Johnson then went on to make 3. And this is Johnson now linking with Prakash, sliding it in towards the middle. Prakash, if she does score, as a 17-year-old, she would become Western's youngest ever goal scorer, edging out Carly Johnson, who did so as an 18-year-old. 2 goals for her last season. Carly Johnson now got 3 this season, so her best goal scoring season. Stott searching forward for Torpy, who hasn't had quite as much change down that right edge up against Grace Maher. As we get confirmation, there'll be 4 minutes of additional time here at Amy Park. Varley slipped it through for Davidson. Torpy, this time she found some space, but the ball way too far in front of Wilkinson. She's given Melbourne City plenty of opportunity. She grabbed the assist for Wilkinson's only goal of this match. Cruz attempted ball forward. And she'll try again. Torpy tried to attack it. Falls to Hieda. Western United, they will not mind this at all. It's just going to take more time off the clock, more time away from Melbourne City to chase this 2-goal deficit. Melbourne City from this match head into a clash Sunday week with Canberra at McKellar Park. Not an easy place to go. Canberra have been playing some good football lately. Just edged out by Melbourne Victory on the weekend. Carly Johnson squeezing in there. Papadopoulos does win it back for Western. Stacey Papadopoulos. And now Legazzo. She has a lash. Enough City players in front of the ball. This is what they've done so well today. When they've swarmed in one possession, they have wreaked havoc. Savitsky. Corner here. And it's not just about them scoring those goals from these kind of opportunities, but it's been building pressure, winning corner kicks, set pieces. And in the end, you've got to credit Western United, Kat Smith, and the game plan today. It's worked a treat, and the team have executed it. Grace Maher looking to draw the foul. Throw here for City, and you'd have to say for City, not far off. It just simply came down to that period just after half-time where they didn't take those chances. And in the end, Western United took theirs, and that's where we sit right now with a minute remaining in stoppage time. Prue. Hieda. The Japanese forward has been excellent for Western. Papadopoulos has really brought that energy off the bench. Carriage. Cern. Davidson just outworked there by Papadopoulos. And here is Carly Johnson. Chasing a double is Carly. Bearing down on goal. She's unselfish. Prakash off the crossbar. She may get another bite of the cherry. Legazzo's strike deflects wide. What a moment that would have been for the 17-year-old Vani Prakash. She would have become Western United's youngest ever goal scorer, and it would have been set up by the previous youngest goal scorer. But she still holds that mantle, Carly Johnson, for the moment. But it's Western United whose golden summer continues. 5 wins from 8 since Kat Smith took over at the start of December. What a turnaround under their new boss. And Western have risen from 8th at the start of December to 2nd, where they're going to sit for the moment with games to come this round. City's wait for a win against Western will stretch into another season, potentially, unless they meet in the finals. None from 4 against the green and black for City. Full time at Amy Park. City 1, Western United 3. And it all started with Hannah Keane scoring for the 3rd consecutive match against City. That's been a big part of why Western have dominated this rivalry. Hannah Keane scoring goals. Back in the starting side for the first time in a couple of weeks after getting over a bit of hamstring tightness. And Melbourne City, no sooner are they gone behind, they'd equalised. Anna Wilkinson getting on the end of Caitlin Torpy's centering header. But then City had their chances, didn't take them. And then a little bit of a miscommunication at the back, and Hannah Keane was never going to miss from there. Legazzo grabbing the assist. And Keane, a little embarrassed, you would say, taking the plaudits. And then Legazzo tried to beat Prue. And then Johnson feeding off Hannah Keane's delivery, smashes it in at the near post, and on